Hi there, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be discussing about containers in AWS, a comparison between ECS and EKS, Elastic Container Services and Elastic Kubernetes Services. So I'll just show you the comparison and we'll try to come into some conclusion, like which one to choose and which one is easier and which one is simple to use. So just a little bit comparison between both of them. In the upcoming video, I'll be showing you how to deploy your uh, container just ECR, that image that we uploaded on the repo. So how we can utilize that image to deploy to the ECS is in the next video. But today's video, I'll be just drawing some comparison between both of them. So first of all, this AWS, it offers both of them, whether it is a ECS or EKS. So both the services help to deploy in simplicity, easy to manage, and it also help us to scale the containerized application. But they are having both are having the different architectures and different scenarios in which we have to utilize or which one to expand and all. So lots of things are there that we will be discussing on this. So ECS, Amazon Elastic Container Services. So it is a managed service and it is a fully managed container orchestration service provided by the AWS. It abstracts much of the underlying infrastructure management, making it easier for the users to deploy and manage the containers. So without dealing with the complexities of maintaining or running those orchestration frameworks. In terms of Kubernetes service, we have this Amazon Elastic Kubernetes services. So we have Kubernetes orchestration. So it is also a managed Kubernetes service, and it is like providing you a fully managed control plane. So where we can manage all those things. And it is a popular open source container orchestration platform, and it is having flexibility, and we can have the extensibility also that is missing in ECS. Okay, coming to the features. So in terms of when we talk about the simplicity, so ECS is basically generally considered easier to set up, to utilize it, making it's like a good choice for the user who are very new to the container orchestration, or those who prefer to have a very simple solution to for deployment. In case of EKS, it is not that much simple. So it follows certain industry standards. It follows certain industry standards, and you can for the container orchestration in the industry. And it also allows users to leverage the extensive Kubernetes ecosystem and the various tools that we have. In terms of integration, we have this ECS integrates well with the other AWS services such as EC2, AWS Fargate, Identity, and Access Management. And in terms of custom scheduling, so it also provides you own scheduling capabilities. It also allows you to bring your own scheduler also. If you have some specific requirements, custom requirements are there, you can utilize that. In terms of portability, applications those are managed by EKS are potentially more portable across different cloud providers. That is another plus point that we have in AWS EKS. Or we can, if you're having certain on-premise environments, because Kubernetes is like a widely adopted open source project, so we can have like you can adopt with the different cloud service providers, or we can have on-premise environments, dev, staging, or production if you want to maintain. We can go ahead with that. And in case of advanced features, maybe it will be a better choice going towards the EKS, because it is having that extensibility as well as the compatibility with the existing Kubernetes tools and the various workflows. So as making a comparison, we can say it is a comparison between the simplicity and flexibility. So ECS tends to be more simple, and but the EKS tend to be more flexible. So in when you're looking forward, which one to choose between between ECS and EKS, so we can choose like based upon the simplicity and the tight integration between the various AWS services, which is the like a top priority in terms of AWS. And ECS may be like, better fit. If we need flexibility, we can go ahead with the different features provided in the Kubernetes. We can go ahead with the EKS is a strong choice. So we can have a Kubernetes compatibility. When we talk about if you're having some like existing skill set is required, like if your team already have experience with Kubernetes and all, so it has become easier to adopt to the Kubernetes standard across multiple environments. So then in that case, EKS will be quite preferable. And if you're having certain specific requirements, like your such as ease of use, integration with other AWS services, then we can like go ahead with the ECS. So ultimately, like, the choice is yours, which one you want to pick it up. So you can see over here, we have a quick deployment in terms of ECS. Cost efficient is also it is when we talk about the cost. So ECS may be a more cost-effective solution for certain workloads, especially if your containerized applications have a straightforward deployment and the scaling requirements. So in that term, it is very cost efficient. And quick deployment, you need to deploy some containerized applications quickly and easily. ECS is known for it. So it is very easy to set up and quickly deploy. That I will show you in the next video how we can utilize that. And when you talk about the industry standards and portability, it is definitely go ahead with the EKS. So, and even advanced features, uh, we can have a broad range of Kubernetes tools, flexibility can be there. Even we can have multi-cloud or hybrid deployments, as I discussed earlier. So if you want to plan to deploy applications in like a multi-cloud or hybrid environment, so EKS will be the better fit in terms of portability and flexibility. So there are general some considerations are there, like when your team skill set needs to be, like suppose if you're opting for EKS and your team is still not upgraded to familiar with the Kubernetes environments and all. So in that case, you need the skill set for your team. So if your team is more familiar with the ECS, so you can go ahead with the ECS. So it depends upon your team skill set also. And if you're having some specific requirements like your applications such as performance or scalability, some custom requirements are there or certain features are required. So in that case, the services might offer any other services that can be offered in the EKS. Now, if you're planning for a long-term strategy, then consider your long-term strategy. So we can like anticipate growing into more complex scenarios or adopting a multi-cloud strategy. So in that case also, again, flexibility and portability, we have EKS is more like preferable or more advantages. So I can say like, ECS or EKS, so there are different preference and use cases. So ultimately the choice is yours depending upon your needs, depending upon your team skill set or expertise, and also your long-term goals, how you can want to visualize and how you're going to maintain your environments and all. So depend upon case to case. So you can, if you're having certain deployments in which you don't want to spend some more time in setting up and underlying the infrastructure and also making it like easier for the users to deploy and manage the containers without dealing the orchestration like complexities and all, you can go ahead with the ECS. So I hope I was able to bring something relation between difference or similarities between the ECS or EKS, which one to choose and all. So it totally depends upon the organization which one to choose and what is the what kind of deployments they are going to do and what is the future scope they are looking into or future goals they are having. So you can choose accordingly. So in the upcoming video, I'll be sharing you another video on ECS. Then once we finish up with the ECS, we can go ahead with the EKS. So that's how I have planned it. So please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And we will be I'll be posting you the next video soon. Thanks for watching.